Okay. So in the last class, we have seen till the organization structure creation, right? We have seen the organization structure creation. And after the organization structure creation, that is the organizational data. Next data we have to create is the master data. Okay. So, where is it? So next data we have to create is the uh, master data. Okay. So master data. So what is a master data? So master data is basically, it is a kind of, let's say, one time data, or the data in, or in which, or by which we will be creating the transactional data. So what is a master data? Basically, let's say, uh, to create a transactional data. Okay, transactional data means to create a purchase order, or to create a goods receipt, or let's say to create any kind of purchase requisition, or any data we want to create, any transactional data. These are the transactional data. Let's say we are creating a purchase order, we are creating a contract, or we are creating a info record. Okay, not info record, where we need to create a purchase requisition, or let's say purchase order, or let's say goods receipt. So these are the transactions on the daily basis we have to perform, or we have to create it. These are the transactional data. So transactional data on a daily basis we have to perform. Okay. Now to create this transactional data, we need some we need some master data. So what are those master data? So first thing in let's say MM side, the master data is material master. Okay. Material master means any data that is required for the material. Let's say how the material, what is the name of the material, what will be the weight of the material, what will be the, let's say, volume of the material, what should be the unit of the material. So every information, or any information for every department, there will be multiple department will be there. Let's say MM side or purchasing side, there is a department will be there. So purchasing side data will be maintained. There will be a sales side will be there. So the sales side will also need some data for the material, so that will be also maintained. Let's say the warehousing side, some data will be required, so the warehousing uh, master data will be maintained in the material master. So anything is required for the material, it will be stored in the information will be stored in the material master. So this is the first master data for the MM side. Okay. So here we are discussing on the MM side master data. We except the material master, there are other master data are also there. Let's say for sales side, there will be customer master will be there. There are different master data will be there. This is only for our MM side. Okay. So now first one is the material master. Next one is your supplier master. Before we have called, or we are calling it, vendor master. So in the ECC, it was called the vendor master. So what is a vendor master? So vendor related all data will be stored in a vendor master. So whatever things you need, let's say how the vendor will take the payment, when the vendor will send you the goods, what will be the let's say terms and condition for the supplying the goods, or how the vendor will take the payment. So everything will be stored in the vendor master. So it was, before it was called as a vendor master. Right now we can call it as a supplier master, because in S4 HANA there is an introduction to business partner is there. Okay, right now we are calling it as a business partner. So in the business partner, it is the supplier master. For there is a, like, different things in the business partner. So a business partner means customer can be business partner, supplier can be business partner, and employee can be a business partner. So in that business partner, we will be having supplier master for our MM side. Okay. Next one will be purchasing info record. Okay, this is a master data. So what is this purchase info record? Basically this will be a combination of your material and your vendor master information. Okay, purchasing info record will basically contain the information based on the material and the vendor master or supplier master. Okay, so let's say you are having a material master data or material okay, so you are having a material master data and you are having a vendor master data. So basically this material, let's say material X is there that is being procured from different vendors or different suppliers. So every supplier might have their own terms and condition. So we need to create a purchase info record to have the like individual terms and condition for the vendors. Okay, let's say the same vendor is having different condition for different material, or let's say different vendors are having the different condition for the procurement of the material. So we will be creating a purchase info record to maintain all the vendor and material combination data over there. Next one is quota arrangement record. So what is a quota arrangement record? Let's say we are purchasing the material in a bulk. Okay, bulk means you are purchasing a material X, let's say 1000 quantity, 5000 quantity, 10,000 quantity, in a bulk you are purchasing. Okay, now for that kind of thing, let's say there will be multiple vendors will be there, or there will be multiple suppliers will be there who will be supplying you the material. Let's say there will be different delivery time will be there, and there will be different prices will be there. Let's say someone is giving you a material in 5 days, but they are having a higher price point. Let's say someone is giving you a material, the same material in a lesser price point, but they will be giving you the material, let's say after 1 month or after 2 months, they will be giving you the material. So now for the business, what will happen? Let's say for the business, we need the material also, and we need it in a cheaper price also, right? So to average this, to average the material price um, and to have the optimum use. Okay, optimum use means whenever we require, we need to have the product. Okay, for those kind of reason, we will be having a quota arrangement record based on the price and delivery time. Let's say I will be giving a quota of 10% or 15% to the vendor who is giving me in a shorter period of time. Let's say in 5 days, who is supplying me the material, I'll be giving him 10 to 20% of quota, I'll be giving it to him. Let's say rest of the 80% of quota I'll be giving to the vendor who is supplying me material as a at a cheaper price, so that my material price will be, it will be averaged on the base of, let's say whatever quota you are giving, so the material price will be average on that basis. Both of the price will be calculated and it will be made an average. Okay, so price will be cheaper, and also whenever I require, let's say I'm getting my product in 5 days, and also I'm getting my product in, let's say, 1 month also. So what kind of material I'll be needing for the let's say recently, or I'll need it immediate, I can get it. And on a longer run, I can get the material from the cheaper vendor or cheaper supplier also, I can get it. So these are called quota arrangement record. Okay, so we need to maintain a quota for that one, so that is basically called a quota arrangement record. Next one is source list. Next one is a source list record. So what is a source list record? It is basically let's say how many suppliers are there for the material. Okay, let's say we are having a material X. So for that material X, how many suppliers are there? So we will be maintaining those suppliers. So that is called a source list. So source list is basically what is the source of procuring the material. So we have to maintain that one. Next one is batch master. So what is a batch master? Let's say you are using the materials in a batch. Okay. Let's say you are using the materials in a batch. So why we need to have a batch? So basically, let's say we can have a material based on the, let's say, expiry date, or we can trace out the product, like in a batch, let's say some materials are faulty. So we can trace out them. Okay, so basically we can have the batch master for that one. So batch master is basically if your material is managed in batches, so we have to create a batch master. So this is also a master record. Next one is service master record. Okay, so what is a service master record? Basically for service type of procurement, let's say we are procuring some of the services. So for that one, we will be having a service master record will be there. So basically these are most of the master data which we require to go for the creation of transactional data. Okay, so first we have to create these kind of things. Let's say material master data we will be creating, supplier master data we will be creating, purchase info record data will be creating, quota arrangement record data will be creating, source list data will be creating, batch master and service master we will be looking into it in a later period, but for now we will be looking into these master data, tell material master to the source list record. So we will be looking into these master data, we will be creating these master data, and we will be configuring these master data. Okay, and we will be next we will be going to create a transactional data. Okay, so what are the difference? Once we are going forward, we are moving forward, you will be having a broader idea on that one. Okay, so now first thing, let's understand about the material master. Okay, so what is a material master? We have discussed that material master is a master record or all the information that is required to create a all the information that is required to use the material. Now, all the information required to use the material will be stored in a material master. Okay. Now, before we are creating any master data, okay, so there are two parts of the master data. Okay. So first thing is, let's say if you are going to create a master data and if you are going to configure a master data. Okay, so first thing is for our consultant is to configure a master data. Okay, so what is the configuration? So now let's say you are going to create a material master. So if we go here, okay, so now if we go to, let's say MM01 is the T code for creating a material. Okay, now if we go inside the material, so here you can see there is a material. This is the material number, this is the industry sector, this is the material type, and there will be different things will be there, but we need to enter over here, or what we need to select to create a material master. Now first what we need to do, we need to configure this material master so that someone can create the master data. Okay, so now there are, what is the, now for the consultant label and for the end user label, what is the difference? Now master data is basically created by the, let's say we cannot say like it will be created by the consultant or by the end user. Basically master data will be maintained by the master data governance team. Okay, there will be MDM team will be there, or there will be MDG team will be there, who will be uploading the data. So let's say mostly what will happen, let's say you are a business. Okay, so you are a business, you are working, like you are already doing your business with some other ERP or no ERP or anywhere you are working. Okay, so you will be having all this master data what we have discussed. Every master data you will be having, you will be having a supplier, you will be having the materials, you will be having a source list, you will be having a quota arrangement record. Might be you are using in a different way, but you will be having all the data. Okay, so for the first time what will happen, the consultant, they will be configuring the data, and they will be giving you what kind of information we need for the material master or any kind of master data. So they will be pass on this information to the master data team, let's say MDM team or MDG team. They will be passing on this information to them, and they will be taking that information, whatever information is required, they will be taking from the, let's say, customer or client, and they will be uploading the data. Okay, what are the data required, we will be understanding in a bit. Okay, so now first let's understand what is the configuration of material master, how we can configure the material master. So now this is the important point. If you are going for an interview, if someone is asking you, let's say you have maintained, like I have worked on the master data, I have let's say worked on the material master, or I have worked the vendor master. So what questions they will be asking, they will be asking you, have you created any master data? Okay, as a let's say consultant, you are not supposed to create any master data, but some point of time, for some testing purpose, we will be creating some master data. But most of the time, we are not supposed to create any master data. Consultant are not supposed to create any master data. Okay, they can only configure the master data. Okay, what is the configuration? So configuration is basically the background settings up on which the master data will be created. Able to understand or confusing?
Understood, sir.
Understand.
Okay, fine. Okay, so now we will be looking into the material master. Okay, so now if we go to the material master in the ECC, there was material master, there is a concept called material ledger. Okay, so material ledger has been introduced in the S4HANA system. Okay, now before the S4HANA system, if you are taking a ECC server for practice, then you will be not be going to configure the material ledger. You can directly configure the material master, and you can create a master data. You can create a material master, or you can create a material. But in the S4 HANA, before going to configure the material master, you have to create the material ledger. Okay, material ledger will be mandatory. Without material ledger, you will not be able to create any master data. You will not be able to create the material master. Okay, without the material ledger, you will be not able to create the material master. This is a mandatory function. So before going to that one, let's understand what will be the con like what kind of things will be there which will control the material master data. Okay, so that is called material master control function. So what kind of fields or what kind of things will be there which will be controlling the material master data? So material master control data, first thing is material type. So what is a material type? So material type is basically, so material type is basically how we are going to procure the material. It will be, let's say, distinguished, or it will be segregated through the material type. So what is a material type? Basically the materials with the similar attributes. Okay, so the material with the similar attributes, we will be uh, combining them, or we will be keeping them together in a material type. So what kind of material types are there? Let's take an example. Let's say some materials will be needed for creating a material finished good. Let's say creating a finished good or semi-finished good or any kind of material you want to produce. Okay, let's say I want to produce a pen. So for that I will need some plastic material I'll be needing. So plastic material will be a raw material, right? Yes or no? Okay, so now similarly, if I want to create or if I want to produce, let's say a steel material means, let's say I want to create a, let's say automobile, or let's say I want to produce a car. So for that one, I will need some steel sheets. Now, steel sheet is a raw material for the manufacturing of the car, right? So similarly, what there will be many materials which can be used to create a, let's say finished material or semi-finished material we will be need to create. So those kind of material will be called as a raw material. So raw material will be a material type. Now, while we are creating the, or while we are producing the finished material, let's say we are not creating it from the, let's say from the raw material itself. Let's say, let's take an example. So let's say I will manufacture a mobile. Okay, so for manufacturing a mobile, let's say I will be needing some of the product. Let's say some mobile outer case will be there, mobile display will be there, mobile motherboard will be there, let's say other components will be there. Okay, so these are the product which I need, product or let's say material which I need or which I need to assemble a mobile or to produce a mobile. But these are not the raw material. Let's say mobile case will be manufactured from the plastic material, or let's say any kind of carbon fiber material it will be manufactured. Let's say board will be consisting any further material. Let's say there will be a RAM will be there, there will be a let's say motherboard will be there, there will be a processor will be there, there will be a hard disk will be there. Let's say these are the components of the board. Okay, let's say for display also I'll be needing some let's say plastic material, or let's say some glass material I'll be needing to create the display. So these are some of the, let's say intermediate material will be there. So intermediate means semi-finished, we can call them as a semi-finished. Okay, someone has created the outer case or the plastic case, someone has made the glass case, someone has made the, let's say board item, someone has made the camera item. So these are the semi-finished material. Okay, semi-finished material means they are already created from some raw material, we are using it to form a final product. Okay, so these are the semi finished material. So similarly there will be different kind of materials will be there. Let's say there will be some service material will be there, there will be some let's say packaging material will be there, based on their usage. Okay, how they're going to be used, based on that one, based on their characteristic, we can divide them or we can segregate them in a material type. Okay, so this is basically the, so this is basically called the material type. Okay, so material type is a material master control function. So material type will control some of the material master settings or some of the material master things which will be effective or which will be essential to create a material master. Okay, now, what are those? Let's say we will cut this one. Okay, so now we understand that material type will control the material master creation. Okay, material type will control the material master creation. Okay, so okay, so this will be uh, okay, so now let's understand. So now we understood that material type will be controlling the material master creation. So how this will be creating, or what kind of data it will be controlling? So if we discuss about the material master control function, what kind of things will be controlled by the material type? Okay, so we understand that material type will be controlling the material master data. Now we will be understanding what kind of data will be controlled by the material type. Okay, so first thing it will control is the number range. Okay, so number range, if it is internal or external. So if we go here, okay, so here you can see this is the material master creation screen. Here you can see there is a blank field is there. So here either we have to enter manually a number range. Let's say I will be entering RM0000. Let's say this just for an example, I need to enter a number for this material, or system will automatically assign a number range while we are entering the industry sector and material type. If you are entering, if this is automatic, or this is means this is assigned by the system, or we need to assign it externally, so that will be controlled by the material type. Okay, this is the first thing. So this is the number range interval it will control. Okay, next one is field selection.
Sir, hello.
Yes, yes.
So can you please repeat it again? No range, internal or external.
Not no range, it is
Number
number
one.
range. Okay. Number range. Okay, so number range is basically, okay, so basically number range. So number range will be internal or external, it will be controlled by the material type. So what is a internal or external? Let's say this is the material master. Okay, let me take any kind of thing over here. Let's say I'll be taking Tata Motors. I'll be taking, let's say, raw material Tata Steel. Okay, if I enter this one, it will be taking me to the next selection. I need to select this one. Let's say I'll be entering this one. Now you can see there is a material number is here. You can see it, right? So where this came from? This is automatically defined by the system. So we have to assign like number range, these kind of things we will be assigning before. After this one only we will be going to configuration. Now here you can see the material number, it is coming automatically, right? It is coming automatically. We are not defining, or we are not entering any number over here, but it is defined by the system itself. So how this is getting populated? Based on the material type that we have taken. We have taken the Tata Steel raw material. So based on that, it is taking automatically the number. This number it is taking automatically. How that is taking automatically? What is the background settings? We will be looking into it in a bit, or maybe by tomorrow we will be looking it. Okay, looking into it. So basically this number range, how this number will come, it will be decided, or it will depend on the material type configuration. Okay, what material type we are taking, what are the things are defined, or what are the things are assigned to that, we will be, so that will be depending on this number range. Okay, so don't worry, we will be understanding in a bit, you will be understanding. Now just understand what are the control function. Okay, now what the material type will control, just understand this one. While we will be going to the configuration, then you will be able to understand what is the number range, how it is controlled, what is the field selection, how it is controlled, you'll be able to know everything. Okay, so now second thing is field selection. So field selection is basically, if we go here, let's say here you can see the base unit of measure where the tick mark is there. Here you can see the tick mark is there. So tick mark is basically, it is a mandatory thing. Without entering these fields, you will not be able to save this document. Here also you can see there is a tick mark is there. Here also you can see there is a, here also you can see there is a tick mark is there. So anywhere there is a tick mark is there, that is a mandatory thing. So how that mandatory things will be like controlled, it will be also a part of material type. So you can manage or you can configure how this let's say these mandatory fields will be there, or what kind of fields will be mandatory, what kind of fields will be optional, what kind of fields will be display fields are, okay. So this field you can see this is a gray mode, means display mode. You cannot change this material number, you cannot change. Okay, so this you can, whatever things or whatever fields are in, let's say white color you are seeing, you can enter the data or you can change the data or you can maintain the data, but this data you cannot maintain. This is automatically defined by the system. Okay, so now this is basically the field selection. So you can maintain what field should be mandatory, what field should be optional, what field should be display, what field should be in a hide mode. So this, all of these things you can configure through the material type. This is one more control function. Okay, now next thing is our user department. User department also you can define or you can control through the material type. Okay, let's say there is a raw material is there. So raw material will not be sold, cannot be sold. So no one is selling the raw material. Okay, so for that one, raw material, whenever you use a raw material type, that raw material type will not be having any kind of production department or any kind of, let's say, the sales department. It will not have the data of sales department, or it will not have the production department data, because we are not going to produce any material, raw material, or we are not going to sell any raw material. Okay, so that is one control function also. Okay, next one is procurement. Next one is procurement type, let's say external or internal. So let's say the procurement type will be also controlled by the material type. What is the procurement type? Let's say procurement is external, you can buy it from the external supplier, or you can procure it internally. Let's say you are producing the material, you can procure it from your own plant also internally. Okay, so there are two types of procurement are there. How you can purchase, you can purchase from outside, you can purchase from your plant also. So this is also controlled by the material type. If you are able to procure it externally, or if you are able to procure it internally. So let's take an example. Let's say for raw material, you cannot produce it internally, you have to buy it from the external supplier. For the finished material, you can buy it from the, let's say you are a trading company, you can also buy from externally, from a external supplier, or you can produce it in your plant also. Okay, that is possible. For semi finished product also it is the same, you can manufacture on your own in your plant also, you can you can buy it from the external supplier also. Anyone asking any questions? Any doubts, any question anyone is
Mm,
asking?
no, sir, no, sir.
Okay, so next one is valuation type. Next one is, sorry, valuation classes. So next one is valuation classes. So what kind of valuation classes will be there? What kind of valuation class we should assign it to the material? It will be also a part of your material type. So how this will control, this is a separate thing, we will be discussing it separately. Okay, right now you will be getting confused on the valuation class, what is the valuation class, what is the requirement. So when we will be creating the material master, at that point of time um, we will be understanding the valuation classes. Okay, now next one is inventory management. Inventory management. So let's say inventory management is possible or not, it is also defined by the material type. Okay, so let's say you are using a service material. Okay, so service material, you are not going to store it, right? So directly service material you will be, whenever there is a service type of material will be required, what kind of service material is there? Let's say you are having a